should take some notes maybe, because that's how you do it. That's how you spread the word. That's how you get the fans, the friends, and the family involved, right? It's like one of those purse parties or something. You exchange a few purses, right? If you buy 4 of them, I get one for free. And oh, by the way, vote, right? That is exactly how you do it. All right, what are we at, Jose? All right, should we get about ready here? All right, Jose's giving me yes. Let's get on with this. So, all right, well, why don't we do that? You guys hang tight, right? Settle down out there. I don't want a bunch of crazy stuff happening during this interview. I got to try to impress Jess here, right? You guys hang tight. We'll get her. We'll get her on the line here.
There's a bone on the hill where your body lies. There's a stone in the ground. Is this man did try? If you look to the east, you see your estate, weathered and hollowed out by your mistakes. Oh, Bobby, baby, we all know the truth. You were looking for love and all the bad that you do. Bobby, baby, we all know the deal. Your road was hard and long, straight up a hill. Your mother was gone, your daddy did wrong, your brother died by his own hand. Your wife tried so long, but she disowned. Your daughter was lost with your land, with your land.
Okay, cool. I can. I'm so glad we're doing this via audio because I just got back to the gym.
Every once in a while, I still can see your blue eyes searching a way to be free. And I go to your grave, bottle in hand, and pour out your freedom right there in the sand.
I know.
Oh,
It's funny.
Bobby,
Hey, Kim.
baby,
Yes,
we
hi,
all
Kim.
know
Or at least
the
you.
truth. You were looking for love and all
That's
the
okay.
bad that you do. Bobby, baby, we all know the deal. Your road was hard and long, and straight up a hill. Your mother was gone, your daddy did wrong, your brother died by his own hand. Your wife tried so long, but she disowned. Your daughter was lost with your land, with your land.
All right. Yes. I got your messages. There was a bit of an open mic there. You didn't mind. I use a different setup normally when I'm not doing an interview, and I forget sometimes to change certain things when I do an interview, and that was one I forgot. But at any rate, as you all know, as you all heard, I am on the line with Jess. Jess Weimer,
Hi.
hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Rick?
I am fine. I felt like we just did this like 2 minutes ago.
We did, but you know what? Let's just keep replaying it. This is take 2.
Right. Well, normally I like to start from the very beginning, and I was, doing some reading, kind of refreshing my memory, and you basically flew out of the womb singing and performing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my parents have a video that they like to embarrass me with at 3 years old, singing on the fireplace mantle. It was a song called Cheeky Bum, which is what my mom used to call me. So started pretty early.
It's a song called Cheeky Bum?
Cheeky Bum. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have just admitted that out loud, but
Well,
there you go.
You better believe I'm going to be looking this song up later.
Oh, well, good luck finding it. It's buried in Kansas somewhere.
Now, you know, when I say you come flying out of the womb performing, I mean, what I read is you started appearing in musicals at age 5.
Yes.
And now, I mean, are we talking like you weren't just standing there like as a tree or something? I mean, you were actually singing and dancing in the whole nine, like you'd picture a musical?
Correct. I mean, I was a part of the children's chorus in Jack and the Beanstalk in Wichita Children's Theater when I was 5. And I think there's footage of that somewhere, but I can be seen as the little girl who didn't know it was her cue to get off and stood there for too long.
So I mean, at age 5, I mean, you at that age you barely know what color crayons you like. How, I mean, were your parents like big into music and performing, or I mean, how does that happen at age 5?
I think some people just have been bitten by the creative bug, and I always had a love of performing, and my parents were extremely supportive. My mom actually gave me her Yamaha guitar partially to support me, partially because she can't play. And my dad has always been around pushing me to play music and encouraging me, and he also is a musician. So we've had this really awesome like father-daughter band sort of going on. We used to play at a bluegrass place in Kansas called The Barn. So just all my life I've been around music.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned bluegrass, and that was the other thing I know. I mean, you've kind of, I mean, and especially because of like the music we know you for now. But I mean, you started out with classical training in violin, and then from that you go to fiddle and bluegrass. I mean, that's, I mean, it seems to be like quite the, it's a difference, I would think.
Yeah, very eclectic background, but I'm really fortunate to have had all those different experiences because I think that helped me find my sound now, you know. So it's been really awesome. I'm very fortunate that I could try all these different genres and see what works for me.
Now, you're originally from Kansas, and
correct.
I picture munchkins and a tornado and stuff. And but you're currently in LA.
Yes, I'm in LA. I actually moved to California when I was 18 to go to Chapman University, and then when I graduated, I moved to LA.
Now, how much was there like quite the like? Was it like a culture shock, the difference between Kansas and LA? I'm not very worldly, but you know, I guess just from what little bit I do know, I mean, it seems like Kansas and then LA are like opposites.
They are in a lot of ways. I'm from Wichita, which is the biggest city in Kansas because Kansas City is half in Missouri. So I'm used to a city, but I went from Wichita to Orange County to LA, so I had a nice transition. I think if I would have gone straight from Kansas to like Santa Monica, it would have been a lot, but I had a smooth transition going from city to slightly bigger city to giant city.
And so before moving to LA, though, I mean, how tough was it in Kansas as far as trying to do something in the music scene? I mean, is it really tough? Was that kind of what led you to LA, or was it simply just because you knew it was Chapman University you wanted to go to?
Kansas and Wichita has a really awesome local music scene. But I think I always kind of knew I wanted to be more of a recording artist, and that's why I'm a performer. I've always been singing and acting, but I'm more of a call to music. And I think I always knew I just got to go give it a shot in the big city, you know, something like that. So, yeah.
Are you still dabbling with the acting?
I mean, at my shows, I like to be a little bit of a stand-up comedian, and And my music videos, it's nice to have the performing background, but I don't see really a future in acting for me. I think music is just my passion, so I think I found it.
Well, I got to be honest with you. You kind of caught my ear with the stand-up comedian thing. I mean, have you tried like maybe doing, maybe some parodies or so, because the library that we have here from you is pretty deep. I mean, you know what I mean? It's I would never guess in a million years that as you're singing some of these songs, you break into, comedy relief.
Right. I think it's more just I don't take myself too seriously, and we're all human, and when you're up on stage, you just kind of have to go with the flow, and I poke fun at myself, and I just have a good time, and whatever comes to me, I end up saying and just not regretting it, even if it sounds incredibly ridiculous.
Now, it's being said in the show chat here that there's a couple of cool videos out there of you performing with your dad. Is this like bluegrass?
Actually, my dad and I have done a couple holiday songs together. We did last Christmas. We did Hallelujah, the Leonard Cohen but Jeff Buckley kind of cover version, and then we did Feliz Navidad also.
Oh, Lord. Like, you know what? We're not going to talk about Feliz Navidad or whatever. Listen, you know that for about a year, I couldn't even pronounce your name correctly, and now you're going to throw that in at me?
Oh, well, just a little Spanish to put a flavor in there, change it up a bit.
And I got to apologize. I didn't realize all that time I was pronouncing your name wrong, and until we got that email, and you made it very clear, and I don't think I've mispronounced it since.
No, I appreciate you pronouncing it correctly. It's funny that I want it to be pronounced correctly because Weimer obviously sounds like wiener, big elephant.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Which made for a fun childhood, but we're all adults now. So I don't know. That's my last name, and it looks like Weimer. I think probably our German ancestors intended it for it to be Weimer, but it's Weimer. It's always been Weimer, and if I keep getting called Wiener, that's okay, because now I can just take it and laugh and not cry in the corner like I did in elementary school.
Well, I know you're under the impression we're all adults now. I got about more years before I hit full maturity, so I may slip. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll speak for myself. I'm all adults here.
Now,
I'll take the week.
One of the other things I noticed, I mean, just like your musical training is all over the place, your inspirations are kind of all over the place too. I mean, it's kind of it kind of matches kind of your earlier years. I mean, Bishop Briggs, the Alabama Shakes, to Janis Joplin, Ella Fitzgerald, and then Amy Winehouse in that mix. You seem to have just an absolute true love for music in all shapes and forms.
I do, and I would say that, I mean, even if you look at, Janis Joplin and more recently Amy Winehouse and Bishop Briggs, I think they have a lot of inspiration themselves in the jazz music culture and even the gospel culture, which is kind of where that soulful sound comes from. So it's almost like going from Ella Fitzgerald to Amy Winehouse is kind of a sensical jump in the sense that they both have, Ella Fitzgerald's not influenced by jazz. She's like a creator of jazz.
Right.
But Amy Winehouse and Bishop Briggs, they kind of hone in on that sound. So I think that's why I resonate with them, because I love jazz, I love soulful music, and Gloria Gaynor, Carole King, they all have that kind of power behind their voices that I just adore.
Yeah, Amy Winehouse, she kind of took jazz to a modern place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not your grandma's jazz.
Yep.
I think
grandma didn't go to rehab, I bet.
That's right. Grandma wasn't smoking crack, but
Probably not.
And I love the fact that you were you mentioned Janis Joplin in there. I am so in love with Janis. I wish somebody would learn, figure out how